Right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through yoga with props. We will practice it together for 45 minutes today. Just a reminder to listen to your body through the class. If a particular stretch does not work for you, please skip it, come on out and modify, and just meet us in the next one. And today, as we work with our practice, it'll be really nice to use some props. So I love yoga with props because we can use all different kinds of props to build strength, increase flexibility, mobility, and just get a little bit of a different stretch in some of our really common yoga poses, but just approach them in a little bit of a different way. So you'll want to have your yoga mat. It can be nice to have the yoga blanket if you'd like. Nice to pad the knees a little bit. We are going to use our folding chair today. So the reason why I love a folding chair is because some of the yoga poses we can try out today will begin to press the chair away from us and the front legs will lift up. So, that's why maybe a chair with wheels won't work, but, definitely work with what you have and maybe in time work with that folding chair. I would also love to use some hand weights. So I grabbed some 5-pound hand weights. So we could do a little bit of arm strengthening in some of our yoga postures. And I would really like to use a loop band today. So we have our resistance band. If you don't have this, you can definitely continue to do the stretches. It will just be a little bit of a different stretch, but this will be really great to have. So as we go through our class today, I was thinking we could do a really nice full body flow and stretch. So this will be really great for releasing tension in those common areas. So a lot of common complaints when people come to yoga is, low back, upper back, shoulders, neck, things like that. So we'll definitely give a little bit of TLC to those areas today. So let's bring our chair right on up to the top of our yoga mat. And what we're going to do is just have that chair planted down so that the 4 feet of the chair are on the yoga mat, and that will just provide a little bit more stability in your stretches. We are just going to come on up to our chair. Take that time to square yourself off. So this is our mountain pose, Tadasana. So you're just going to take your feet, plug them in right underneath your hips, have your shoulders over your hips. Maybe peek down at your feet as well. Have some nice alignment. Sometimes toes are out or in, so try to just encourage those toes to run straight forward. 3 shoulder rolls here. So let's take our shoulders up to the ears. We will create a nice large circle. Relax your shoulders on the exhale. Let's bring our shoulders up, back, down. And one more time here. Nice deep full breath in and deep full breath out. Great. So let's take our centering. We'll try a standing centering today. And our centering is a really wonderful opportunity to release the day so far, to center the mind and the body, and to really let us ground into the yoga practice. So taking that opportunity to close the eyes. And building this pose from the ground up. So we will feel this groundedness in our feet. Maybe feel your toes lift from the mat a tad. Maybe encourage a bit of a gentle bend in the knees and a slight tuck of the tailbone. So imagining if the pelvis was a bowl, try to even that off a little bit, little tuck to create a bit more length in the low back. And then growing nice and long in the spine here. So almost feel like you could reach and stretch from your low back, reach and stretch through the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders from the ears. See if you're holding a bit of tension there. Try to find a neutral chin that's right down parallel to the earth. We don't want to be cranking the head up too much or down too much. And imagine that someone could draw you by a golden thread from the crown of the head. So really just allowing for that length to be found. Connect yourself with your breath. And take a few deep full breaths in and out here. And then as you're breathing, just begin to notice your body reacting to the breath. Feel your navel rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. Feel your ribs expanding on the in-breath and contracting on the out-breath. Feel your chest rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. And then knowing each time that you breathe, you bring life and oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Set an intention for your practice today. That might be that you'd like to relax a bit, practice some self-care. Maybe you're holding some tension in a particular area of the body and you want to release that. So there's really no right and there's no wrong intention. Let's take some time here to bring the hands up and overhead. The fingers will interlock, palms will press up. Nice full breath here to lengthen. And shift to the left and the right. So we'll begin to create this little bit of a wiggle here in the waist, side to side. And then as you're flowing side to side here, try to feel very grounded through the inside and the outside of each foot. Really allow for that length to be found on in-breath and out-breath. Let's take our hands into steeple here. So fingers will interlock, release the index fingers, hands to the left on the exhale for a pose called half moon stretch, Ardha Chandrasana. So the idea is that the body creates a bit of a shape like a crescent moon. So when you look out to see the moon and it almost looks like a little banana, it's a little sliver that's illuminated. The outside of the body on the right is the outside of the moon, and then the inside on the left would be the inside of that crescent moon. Come back to center, nice full breath here to lengthen. Let's take our hands to the right. So to encourage that crescent moon shape a little bit more, try to bring your left hip to the left a tiny bit more. Give yourself more of that lateral stretch for your spine. Bring yourself back onto the center. Let's take a swan dive down to the chair, and we're just going to take our hands right down onto the seat. Now shake out the legs a little bit here. So bend one knee and bend the other knee. And relax your head yes and no. So we just want to shake it out a little bit here. And then as you're finding this movement, this is such a wonderful way to move. It really helps to open up your low back of tension. And so good for your legs as well, backs of legs, hamstrings, calves. Gets into the hips a little bit as well. Let's bring ourselves into stillness. Nice deep bend into the knees. Let's flip for a cat and a dog stretch. So you'll begin to lower your stomach down, lift up your heart. Tailbone will lower and crown of the head will lower. Lowering the stomach, lifting through the heart space. Tailbone lowers and crown of head lowers. And just flow here through cat and dog stretch for a moment. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. Lengthen your spine as you exhale. As you inhale, feel your shoulders relaxing away from the ears. So create a little bit of space between the ears and the shoulders, and feel the shoulder blades moving down your back. Coming into a neutral spine here. Let's walk our hands to the right. We'll bring it into a side stretch, a little C curve in the spine. Maybe gazing off that left shoulder and then looking to the back of your yoga mat. See if that gives you a bit more of a stretch. We'll come back to center to fold and then hands to the other side. And then breathe very deeply here. Really expand your lungs, expand through your rib cage. We have all of these little intercostal muscles, so you can give them a nice stretch with these side movements. Come back on through to center. Let's lower the stomach, lift up the heart, trying a round of the spine and bringing it on up to stand. Nice full breath in to come on up. Hands at the heart on the exhale. Hands will come right onto the top of the chair and begin to press your chair away from you. So those two front legs are going to lift from the mat. Try to draw the weight back into your heels. Allow for your toes to be light. And breathe here. So really try to find that length. Also feel this sensation of reaching and stretching in opposite directions. It's almost like a natural human traction. We're reaching and stretching forward with those shoulders, and then we're reaching and stretching back with our sitting bones. Let's begin to lighten up on that stretch a little bit. Take a deep bend in your right knee. Let's take our left hand to the sky and exhale for a twist. Now, as you're twisting, really press your chair away from you. So you're still going to feel those front legs of the chair lifting up. We're going to come back to center. Keep your legs just how they are. So right knee will bend, but we're going to change up the hands. So left hand plants and right hand rises. And then breathing here. Let's feel that right shoulder roll back, left shoulder under, heart is shining up to the sky. Let's bring ourselves back on through to a fold. Reset on those legs. Left knee bends this time. So left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Let's take that right hand up. So this brings us into our open twist. And our open twists tend to be a little bit easier than the closed twist. So this one is really expansive, opening the collarbones and the shoulders and the heart space. Legs will stay just how they are. Let's change up that grip for the hands. So right hand press, left hand rises on exhale. Deep bend in that left knee. And this brings us into that closed twist. So this one, you might sense that it's a little bit more challenging than that first one. See if you can find length on the in-breath and then twist deeper on the out-breath. Good. Let's bring ourselves back on through to center to a forward fold. Hands can come down to the seat and the chair lowers down to the mat. Lower the stomach, lift through the heart. Let's bring it on up to stand. Full breath in. Hands on heart, breathing out. So let's try working with our sun salutations. I really love the sun salutations. There's many different salutations. We can try a few different ones today. And I really love the history of the salutation. Yoga came from India thousands and thousands of years ago. And people in India were so grateful to see the sun rising that they created these salutations as a way to greet the sun, you know, to show their gratitude. And that's kind of where that term sun worshiper comes from. So we'll start with a mini sun salutation A. This one is really good for just getting that flexibility in the body, building a bit of strength. So we'll take our hands to the sky on the in-breath, folding forward on the out-breath. And let's take a moment to lower the stomach. Let's lift up through the heart, rounding of the spine, and then coming up to stand. Nice full breath in. Reach up and stretch up. And then hands at the heart. Let's go 2 more times here. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, fold down to the seat. Lower your stomach, lift up through your heart. Bit of round of the spine. Come on up to stand. Full breath in. Hands at heart. Full breath out. One more time. Inhale, let's reach up and stretch up. Come on down to a fold. Lower the stomach, lift through the heart, bring it on up to stand, mountain Tadasana. And hands at the heart, exhale. Let's build on that. We'll take a full sun salutation A with the chair, hands to the sky, inhale. Fold on down on exhale. Lower your stomach, let's lift up through the heart. Planting your hands, let's bring it back on through to plank. Really important to remember in plank, chair is planted on the yoga mat. And then press your chair straight down. So we don't want to create a sensation of pressing our chair away from us. That could make the chair slide. It wouldn't be very safe. So make sure that you're pressing your hands straight down and not away. Now let's take a side plank here. Left hand will plant right in the center of the chair. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot. Let's take that right hand to the sky and exhale. This is side plank, Vashisthasana, the traditional variation of side plank. So many options in our side plank. Back to center. Let's take that right hand down, outer edge of our right foot, inner edge of left foot. Left hand rises. Feel that top hip lifting up, top hand rises. And back to center. Let's float it into plank and we'll try an up dog here. So in our up dog, we gently lower the hips down and we open our chest and our heart. This is going to give us that nice back bend through the three parts of the back. Core engages. Let's bring our hips right on up to the sky for a downward facing dog and shake it out in your downward facing dog. So it may feel nice to bend one knee, to bend the other knee, and maybe relax your head yes and no here. As you're flowing, just try to get nice and grounded in your hands and your feet. We're going to hold stillness here. Let's take 2 nice deep full breaths in and out. So with each breath, maybe feel your sitting bones reach and stretch to the sky. The spine lengthens, back of the neck relaxes, backs of your legs lengthen. Float it forward to your fold. We also call this one Uttanasana. We're going to lower the stomach, lift the heart, halfway lift. And then coming on up to stand, breathe in, hands at heart, breathe out. Let's try that sun salutation A again. We'll try a different variation. So hands up, breathe in, come on down, breathe out. Lower the stomach, let's lift through the heart, coming back through to plank. Right hand plants in front of the face, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, and step your left foot about halfway up the yoga mat. Have your left toes pointing the left side of the room, hand to the sky. Make sure that you're on the blade of your right foot. So that whole outer edge of your right foot, you really want to press the foot down to try to lift this hip up. This one's going to give us that nice iliotibial band stretch. So nice IT band stretch in side plank. Let's come on back to plank, high push up. We'll try that on the other side. Come right onto the outer edge of your left foot. Left hand plants, right hand rises. Feel that top hand rising up with the breath, top hip lifts. And release. Let's take ourselves back on through to plank, high push-up pose. Hips will lower, heart will open, up dog, and down dog. Down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. Now let's take this one, we'll hold it for 3 deep full breaths in and out. Try to feel the weight pressing into the heels. So this one is a little different than when we are not using our chair, our traditional down dog without the chair. So in this one, try to bring the weight back into your heels. Feel that your toes are light. And then also maybe be a bit lighter in the hands as well. Maybe you feel the sensation like the hands could lift from the chair. Let's bring it back on through to a fold. Lower your stomach. Let's lift the heart, mountain rising. Tadasana. Hands at heart. Exhale. One more time. Hands to the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Lower the stomach. Lift through the heart and plank. High push up. So in our plank, let's take that right knee and we're just going to come on forward and we're going to tap that right tricep. So we're going to float it forward, reset. Let's take left to left, reset, and flow here with your breath. Now, if this feels challenging, the most common thing is going to be to hold the breath. Really take this opportunity to connect with your breath. Feel yourself breathe in and breathe out through your nose. Maybe focus and breathe to your stomach. Feel that expansion in the stomach and the contraction in the stomach. Expansion through the ribs. Contraction through the ribs. And then feeling that expansion in the heart space. And then also feeling that gentle fall of the heart space. Back to plank. Hips will lower, heart will open, upward facing dog. Let's press it back and downward facing dog, and we're just gonna hold it here. Let's take 5 deep breaths in and out to really connect with our breath. So the hands, let's bring it through to a fold. Lower your stomach, lift your heart. Let's bring it on up. Hands at heart, exhale, releasing on the wrists. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch, and then circle out through the wrist here a little bit. And I love this stretch, especially when I'm doing a lot of things on the wrist in the yoga class. But this is a very wonderful movement that I always incorporate into my day. If I'm at the computer quite a bit, or I'm on the phone scrolling, typing, texting, things like that. So let's reverse. It really just gives the wrist a wonderful opportunity to reset, bring some circulation, get the blood flowing, and really just helps to kind of soothe those muscles. Releasing that, let's give it a shake on out. Now let's take some time and work with that loop band. Really love this one that I have here. It's nice and strong. So if you have one that you can tie off, you'll just want it to be, about this size, maybe about 12 inches or so. So let's start with our shoulders a bit. We're just going to take this right around our wrists, maybe at the backs of the hands a tad. And yeah, this is more on the backs of the hands rather than the wrists. And hugging the elbows into the sides of your body. Let's try to bring those hands out to the sides of them. So really going to try to use that resistance to get us into the shoulders a bit. And then we're just going to gently soften and release. We're going to press out to the sides of the room, maybe create a little tension, and then offer a release. Good. Notice if the shoulders are trying to creep up to the ears, try to relax your shoulders as best as you can. Good. Now we can take a nice big shoulder roll here. And for this one, what we'll do is we're going to grab right onto the band. We are going to bend our elbows out to the sides of the room, and maybe it's about chest height. We are going to pull the band apart. So try to pull the band apart as best as you can, and then we can release a little bit. Good. Great. We'll release that one. Nice big shoulder roll. And we'll use this one on our legs now. We'll do quite a bit of leg strengthening, which is so great. And so for this one, have your chair so that your left hand can grab onto the chair if you need it. It would be nice to just have it there as a support if you need that. Let's bring this right around our ankles. And for this one, hands can be on the hips, and feel free to grab onto that chair if you need a little support. So let's start with our right foot. We're just going to do a little kick out to the side of the room, and we'll bring it in. Good. And as you do this, try not to lean to the left too much. Try to stack your shoulders right over the hips. Let's plant our feet. We can take an inhale and exhale here. Now let's kick that right foot out in front. So we're just going to do a float forward. Good. Plant the feet. Let's inhale, exhale. Now left foot. And of course, if you need to, you could lift your chair up on the other side, but you can also still use the same hand. Let's take that left foot forward. And we're gonna release, full breath in and out. Working with our right leg, let's do a kick back. Wonderful. Right foot plants, left leg. Let's kick that one back. Great. And now let's take that right foot and we're just going to turn our right toes in so that our right toe points to that big toe on the left side. Try to keep your foot in this position the whole time, and then we're going to kick the right foot to the right. Great. Plant your feet. Now let's take that chair. We're going to send it to the other side. We'll do 2 more movements on that left side. So first one is our left leg just does that kick out to the side. So try to stack the shoulders over the hips. Try not to lean to the right too much. Make sure that you're breathing. I know this one isn't the easiest. It tends to bring up quite a bit of stretching for most people. So if that's happening, just know that that's probably pretty normal. Good. Plant the feet. Inhale, exhale. Left toe, let's turn them in so that big toe points to the other big toe. Try to have your foot in that position the whole time. And then let's do those kicks out to the side. So try to keep your toes turned in. Good. Feet can plant. Release that band. Let's send that right off to the side of the mat. And let's shake it out a little bit. Maybe shake out your legs and shake out the feet a bit. We are going to work with a back bend here. So what you'll want to do is be able to access the back of your chair. Hands grab onto the chair. And we'll encourage this nice back bend here. The wonderful thing about this back bend is you can definitely modify it. So feel free to walk your feet closer to the chair if you need to. That's going to make it a bit easier. If you did want that deeper back bend, maybe press your hips away from the chair. For that deeper back bend, maybe your feet walk away from the chair even more. So you want to feel the hips coming forward. Try to create that back bend through the 3 parts of the back. And you have options here with the head. So you may want to tuck your chin, gaze down the front body, maybe relax your head back. And just breathing here. So very common in a back bend to want to hold your breath. So we'll just inhale and exhale deeply. And release. Let's begin to walk our feet to the chair. Maybe hands on your low back. Take that opportunity to lengthen your spine, tuck your tailbone. Inhale and exhale. Maybe take a shoulder roll, take the shoulders up, back, and down. Let's take a seat in the chair. So we'll try out some tricep stretching with our chair. For this one, you are going to sit in the chair. You're going to grab right onto the sides here, scooting the hips off and then lowering, and then coming on up. So with this one, it's wonderful how much you can modify and really modify for your body. See what you need. If you want this to be easier, just take a very tiny bend in the elbows. Don't lower the hips down too far. If you did want that deeper shoulder stretch and the arms stretch and strengthen, you might want to lower the hips down towards the ground quite far. Imagine that you could squeeze a beach ball between your elbows. Make sure that you're breathing. Bring yourself into your chair. Shoulder roll. Inhale, exhale. Let's release those wrists again. Fingers interlock, palms will touch and circle. Reverse. And let it go. Let's shake it out. Great job. Come on up to stand. Let's try pyramid with the chair. This is one of my favorite stretches with the chair. So what we'll do is we will step our right foot back. We'll have our left foot forward. Try to have your toes pointing straight forward so that you have this very nice alignment in your hips. We don't want to be too, one side or the other too much. We want to have this nice alignment of hips going forward. Hands are going to reach out in front. Grab right onto the top of your chair and begin to press your chair away from you. Now in pyramid, we also call this one intense side stretch pose. So just notice in your body where you're feeling the stretch. Breathe into that. Maybe feeling the stretch in the backs of your legs. Maybe in your low back. Maybe in the back of the neck as you relax your head. Left hand rises on exhale. Let's take a twist here. This is our pyramid twist. And then still staying with that sensation of pressing your chair away. So really feel yourself reach and stretch in opposite directions. And release. So we're going to bring ourselves back on through to pyramid. Dropping down onto the forearms, right leg to the sky. Let's try the standing splits pose here. And then in standing splits, maybe gaze to the wall that's behind you. Maybe gaze to the ceiling up behind the body. A lot of times as you relax the head and the neck, that just can help you move deeper into the stretch. Let's take our right foot to meet our left foot. We can pop up onto the hands. Realigning here, lowering stomach, lifting heart. Come on up to stand, full breath in. Hands on heart, full breath out. Left foot back, right foot forward, hips, shoulders square forward. And make sure that your left foot points forward, just how the right foot points forward. So that will be a nice alignment for your knee. Nice full breath here to lengthen. Let's take our hands right onto the top of the chair and begin to press the chair away from you. Now, if you wanted to work with deepening the stretch, you could bring more weight into that right foot. So that's going to help to lift the right hip up a little bit, balancing off the hips and the low back. Maybe encouraging your left hip forward, right hip back. Let's take our right hand to the sky on exhale, twist. And then as you're twisting, try to feel that the shoulders are stacking and opening as well. So you get this nice opening through the heart space. We can gently release ourselves back on through to pyramid. Float down onto the forearms, left leg to the sky, standing split. And release. Let's take that left foot to meet our right. We can pop up onto our hands. Maybe shake out those legs a bit here. Bend one knee and the other knee. Relax your head, yes. And relax your head, no. As you find stillness, let's lower the stomach, lift up through the heart, around of your spine. Let's come on up to stand, breathe in. Hands at heart. Breathe out. So let's try working with dancing Shiva. And for this one, if you wanted to use your chair, we'll start with our right leg first. You could have your chair on the left side of you so that your left hand can have a bit of support here. So right knee comes up into the chest and into the stomach. So maybe fingers will interlock and then you have a gentle support here. And anytime we work with our balancing poses, we want to find our drishti. So we have one spot to focus our concentration, to focus our awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Right knee can open to the right. Let's bring that into a really nice inner leg stretch. Left hand can move off towards the left. Maybe take the pads of the index and the thumb to come together, finding a mudra. We call this our chin mudra, yana mudra. Knee can come back to center, hug it in. Right knee to the left and twist. Come back to that mudra if you'd like. Gaze off your right shoulder. Look for those right fingertips. And back to center. Knee can come to the chest, hug it in. Right foot to left. Pick up that chair if you want, shift it off to the right, and we'll work with the left side. See if it's a little easier. Sometimes our body has a muscle memory and it kind of knows where we're going, so it might be a bit easier on the second side. Left knee comes to the chest, into the stomach to start. Give it that nice little pull in. Really try to use the arm strength and the shoulder strength here as well. So we want to try to activate all the muscles. Left knee to the left, we'll open it up, maybe right hand to the right. Gaze off your right shoulder, look for those right fingertips. And back to center, knee to the chest, let's hug it in. And left knee to the right for that twist. Gaze off your left shoulder. Maybe relax the left shoulder from the left ear. Inhale, exhale. Let's come back to center. Knee can hug to the chest. Let's take our legs out nice and wide. Arms to the right and the left. We'll take a windshield wipe here. Empty coat sleeve stretch. Coming back to center. Let's bring our chair to the bottom of the yoga mat. And we'll find our way into seated on the ground. As you come into seated, bring your legs out nice and wide. We'll take a seated wide-legged fold. So the wider the legs, the better. Try to inch them out. You can always use your hands to kind of sweep them out as well. Press yourself up if you need to. Roll your pelvis forward a little bit, almost like you're trying to stick the butt out a tiny bit. So we don't want to be too rounded here, almost like exaggerate. Stick the butt out a little bit, lengthen your spine. We're going to come down to a fold. So we have a couple options here. One option is just to fold and relax your head. If you'd like the stretch to be a bit more active, you could press your chair away from you. So you could grab onto the top of your chair, press it away so that the front legs lift off of the ground. You could also grab the sides of your chair. If you can't reach the top, that can be a nice option. And we'll just be here for a moment with our breath. Maybe do a little scan of your body. Noticing where you're holding onto tension. And then with your exhale, letting that tension go. And release. Let's bring ourselves back and up to center. Sure, we're just going to scoot that right up to the bottom of the yoga mat. Come down onto your back. Take your knees to your chest. So let's take one hand to one knee, one hand to the other knee. And then separate the knees. Let's take our knees out to the sides of the room. Bring them back into center. Float them out to the sides of the room. Back to center. One more time. Reverse. We'll just find movement in the opposite direction. Coming into Shavasana from here, we'll take some time to relax, to integrate our practice into our mind and our body. So we have our chair, and if you would like, you can link your lower legs right up onto that chair for a bit of support. And then maybe just give a little tuck to your tailbone, and then really just let your low back relax. Maybe give a tuck to your chin to lengthen the back of your neck. And just take this time and try to be one with your body and your breath. Feel that connection, that alignment. Give yourself an opportunity to just notice how you feel. Observe your mind, your body in the moment. Feel your mind relax, calm, at ease. Feel your body aligned and balanced. Tension that you came to class with, feel how that has released with yoga and meditation. Coming to your side, maybe roll to the right or the left. Create a fetal position for a moment. Bring yourself on up, coming into seated. As you come to seated, hands can come into the heart space in prayer in Anjali Mudra, thanking yourself for practicing yoga, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. It's wonderful to be here with you. Have a wonderful day today, and I look forward to our next practice together.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.